We've talked a lot about how to obtain your residence permit in Spain, but whether you are already in the country as a legal resident or you are planning to move to Spain soon, whether you obtained residency through arraigo or came with a work permit, in other words, whatever your situation, there's a step that will come sooner or later that you must keep firmly in mind: renewing your residence permit. In this video, we'll cover everything you need to know to remain in Spain after your initial residence card expires. Let's begin. Hello everyone, my name is Gerard, I'm the marketing responsible at Balcells Group, and today we'll go through a complete guide to the process of renewing your residence permit in Spain. It's a topic that many foreigners overlook as they focus just on obtaining the initial card and think that's the end of the journey, but nothing could be further from the truth. To stay long-term in Spain, you'll face periodic renewals, and today we'll cover everything you need to know to complete them successfully. Renewal versus modification. Before we get into the requirements and process to renew your residence permit in Spain, it's important to distinguish between a renewal and a modification, since they are very different. If you have residency through arraigo or you're in Spain on a student visa, once your card ends, you must modify to a residence and work authorization. In other words, you'll switch from one type of authorization to another. However, if you came with another type of residency authorization, such an employee work permit or non-lucrative visa, after your initial one-year card ends, you can then renew that same residency authorization. Let's see how this process works, but before we go into the requirements in detail, let me ask you for one thing. If this video or any other video in the channel has been useful, please consider subscribing. It helps us keep publishing new videos every week with all the legal information that you need as a foreigner in Spain. So subscribe if you haven't done so, and now let's move on to the renewal requirements. Minimum time in Spain. The first and most important requirement is time spent in Spain. To renew your residence authorization, you must have stayed in Spain for at least 183 days, which is 6 months per year. This is crucial and something many foreigners don't consider before moving to the country. Obtaining residence in Spain implies living in the country most of the time, and this has an important tax implication. By spending more than 183 days per year in Spain, you become a tax resident, which means that you'll pay personal income tax, IRPF, on everything you earn, not only in Spain, but worldwide, and you must file your annual income tax return between April and June each year. Maintaining the requirements of your initial card. The other major group of requirements to renew your residence is simple: maintain the same conditions that allow you to obtain your initial card. The exact requirements will depend on the type of residency you hold, but the logic is always the same. Demonstrate the conditions that led to your initial card, proving they are still met. For example, if you have an employee work permit, show that you are still employed by the company, or if you have a lucrative residency, prove you have sufficient funds for the years covered by the renewal. In addition, you will again face the general requirements for the initial application, like provide a criminal record certificate, valid passport, proof of address, which is called the empadronamiento, pay the corresponding fees, etc. When should I file my renewal? This is a fundamental question. When should you submit your renewal application? The answer is clear. There's a fixed time window, which is from 60 days before your card's expiration and up to 90 days after. That said, our recommendation is to start as early as possible so you have enough time in case anything unexpected comes up. Processing times. How long will the immigration office take to issue a decision once you submit your renewal? Again, it depends on the province you are in. Processing can take from 1 to 2 months up to 4, 5, or even 6 months. However, there's good news. Unlike the initial application, renewals benefit from positive administrative silence. This means that if 3 months go by without a response from the authorities, your application is considered approved. Renewals forever? Finally, let's answer another common question. Do I have to renew my residency authorization indefinitely, going through this tedious process every time? The answer is no. Generally, the path you'll follow is as follows. After obtaining your initial card, valid for 1, 2, or 3 years, you will renew it. This renewal will be for 4 years if your previous card was 1 year under the general regime, or 2 years if you obtained residency under the entrepreneur's law with the UGE. In any case, after 5 years on temporary cards, renewing as needed, you'll be able to apply for long-term residency, which formerly was known as permanent residency or PR. Once you obtain it, you'll have the right to reside in Spain long-term and indefinitely. From then on, you'll only need to renew the physical card without worrying about the strict conditions of your initial authorization, as the process becomes much easier. Important: when you renew your initial work permit, employee or as a self-employed, and receive a 4-year card, that renewal card will allow you to work both as an employee por cuenta ajena and as a self-employed worker por cuenta propia. Understanding this renewal process in detail is essential to remain in Spain comfortably and legally. If you still have questions or would like our team of lawyers to handle the entire renewal for you so that you don't have to worry about a thing, send us an email at info@balcelsgroup.com and get started today. We'll be delighted to help.